Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Today I was reading in 2 Samuel 11 the story of David and Bathsheba. I'm sure you remember it. And how David looked upon another woman that wasn't his wife and the sin that it led to. What I recognized as I was reading is how it started off, let's say, small. David was standing and he looked down and he saw Bathsheba, this beautiful woman, and he began to lust after her. If he had stopped just then, if he realized what he was doing right then, repented and turned away, right, he would not have sinned. And you know what? It just grew and grew, because first he looked at her. He lusted after her. He found out who she was, and even knowing that she was married did not change. He wanted her, and so he took her. And then from that, having taken her and she gets pregnant, now he kills her husband. So he started out looking upon this woman, lusting after her, taking advantage of her, and then killing her husband. It reminds me of the scripture that tells us how a little leaven, right? It just goes through the whole batch, right? In Galatians 5:9, it says a little yeast works through the whole batch of dough. Sin is like that. Sin starts out like this, with a thought. With a thought. And with that thought, if we don't capture that thought immediately, it leads to sin. And one sin often leads to another. 2 Corinthians 10:5 says, "We demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God, and we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ." So when you have these thoughts that you know are not right, you have to take them captive. You have to go before the Lord with them and ask for his help, because if you don't take that thought captive, it will lead to sin. Romans 12:22 tells us we have to make sure that we allow God to transform our minds. We can't do it on our own, and we can't let ourselves conform to this world, but we have to allow God to renew and transform our minds. And it begins here and here. And we have to seek God, because you cannot do it on your own. Proverbs 4:23 says, "Guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life." David should have guarded his heart and his mind. He should have taken them captive immediately. And we have to make sure that we do that. Ephesians 5:17 tells us, "Don't act thoughtlessly, but understand what the Lord wants you to do." Guard your mind, guard your heart. Right? And when these thoughts come, pray, ask God, "God, help me. What do you want me to do?" If we're not careful, it is so easy to allow one thought to get us off track and get us into the world of sin. We have to be careful. Let me close with Philippians 4:8. Philippians 4:8 says, "And now, dear brothers and sisters, one final thing. Fix your thoughts on what is true and honorable and right and pure and lovely and admirable. Think about things that are excellent and worthy of praise." See, if we think about those things that are honorable, those things that are right, those things that are worthy of praise, then our mind won't be on these other things, on these thoughts that lead us to sin. You must capture your thoughts, bring them before the Lord. Allow him to transform your mind and your heart. Have a blessed day.